Well, it's also being pointed out the evolution of Prince Harry. I mean, watching him, he's gone from mocking his family, pocketing millions of dollars as he's been doing that, complaining about the media from his mansion, and now mocking Donald Trump. And some say that his appearance on Colbert was a new low, and we are watching Harry spiral into irrelevance, and it's becoming painful to watch. Is that a bit harsh, or is it fair?
Well, I have to say, I mean, I like some of the things that Harry does, and I often call out in his favour the things he does, like the Invictus Games for injured service people, and also things that when he talks about mental health, I think that's great. But it was appalling what he did on Stephen Colbert's US talk show on Wednesday night, pretending to be a Hallmark prince that he wanted to do this terrible audition for. As you say, he was mocking Donald Trump. He talked about electing a king effectively, and got boos from the audience. I'm not sure if that was for Donald Trump or for Harry doing it. But he's not a good actor on this. It reminds me of when Prince Edward used to do this at the Royal It's a Knockout. And the press basically delivered a condemning report about their attempts to do that. But basically what's happened, Harry he's been a bit lost, hasn't he, in America? He's playing second fiddle to everybody's favourite Meghan-Lo-Maniac. And what's happening there, they've lived in America since 2020. He's had all sorts of problems since they sort of trying to dish the dirt on the royal family, if you like, through Spare. Well, Spare Us All. That has fragmented his relationship with his brother William and also with the king, which he's desperately trying to repair. But he's also had lots of run-ins over here with various newspaper groups and so on and so forth, and also with whether he should get protection when he's here or not here, and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting time, but it's a sort of love-hate relationship with Harry. As I say, there are some great bits there, but also some cringeworthy bits. And I think the Stephen Colbert basic piece, which we saw, was probably one of the lowest I've seen him do for a very, very long time.
Oh, I completely agree with you. It was so cringe, and he was getting booed from a Colbert audience. You know, that says so much. The joke about no kings, it was really off the mark. Now, Prince Harry, though, he has scored a major win in his fight to secure 24-hour armed police protection while he's in the UK. This means that the royal family could be seeing more of him. Do you think that's the case, Andrew?
I think it certainly is, and this is a case that he lost about the royal protection. He's always said it's one of the most important battles that he has had, is to try and get this royal protection. They're now saying, he's written to the Home Secretary over here and said, look, there's security concerns. I do not feel safe bringing my wife and children to the UK. And he talked about people who've been stalking him and so on and so forth. And what's happened is effectively they might do a U-turn on this basis. So he's written to, as I say, to the Home Secretary and say, look, can you have a look at it? So Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood is basically requesting a full security risk assessment. And it's now understood he might be on the verge of getting his way. This was reported in The Sun, and the Home Office, as I say, have ordered this threat assessment for the first time since he stepped down as a working royal. And the review will be conducted by what's called the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, RAVEC, affectionately called. It's the very government Harry previously battled in the High Court. And I was actually during that judgment. I sat watching him in court on that stage. He came over, as he did for various the other cases that he had over here. And now what's going to happen is they've got this risk management board to reassess his threat level. And Harry's made it very clear he wants to reunite with his father. He says, look, his focus has got to be on Charles, who has spoken very publicly about his cancer diagnosis. And this could very well help pave the way on that sort of basis. What's going to be interesting is the general public's reaction to when Harry returns with Meghan. And we had that cringeworthy thing, you might remember, which I watched just to make you happy, the Meghan Christmas special. And poor old Harry, he was wheeled out yet again. And just to make sure he suffered as much as she possibly could, they made a salad with all of the worst things, the things that Harry really hated, like beetroot and anchovies and fennel seeds. Fennel seeds, if they had such a thing. But yes, poor old Harry is wheeled out on that sort of basis. But it will be interesting if he returns, because the fight of the two brothers, Shakespearean in tone, will basically be amplified as a result.
Be very interesting to watch. Now, Meghan Markle, as you mentioned, was making a salad on her show, but she's now going from selling jam to chocolate bars, and she's unveiled 3 limited edition treats using signature ingredients from her As Ever brand, including her raspberry spread and her flower sprinkles, Andrews. That is the spark of sweet nostalgia. I mean, the flower sprinkles, you cannot even make this up. She's selling the chocolate bars for $12, so she's already getting criticised for that and that price. Talk to us about the chocolate bars. What's the reaction been so far?
It is. I mean, an absolute scandal. Sweet success. I don't believe. And it's 12 American dollars, not even US, not even Australian dollars. 12 US dollars for her As Ever bars. And these are the flavours. I was looking at them earlier, as I always do on these sort of things. There they are. You probably brought out the pictures of them. You've got bee pollen shortbread, hemp heart flower sprinkles, hurrah, never miss those out, and raspberry jam spread. Apparently, they sold out in hours. There's probably only 2 bars available. But the social media, it burvessel with people calling it disgusting. One person said it tastes like lawn clippings. Pretentious AF, I won't swear, but that's what they were saying. And reviewers basically said it's absolute joke to £12 for a chocolate bar with weird flavours in it. Who ruins chocolates with flower sprinkles, asked one person. And bee pollen, leave that for the bees. There's no way I'd pay $12 for a random chocolate bar with weeds in it. Gross, added another critic. They're basically calling out for a very plain chocolate bar. Would be rather interesting on that sort of basis. But then we wouldn't have anything to talk about, Gabriella. Probably would.
True. What about the flower sprinkles? She'll never let those go, will she? Now let's talk about.
We love it. It's so good for her. And as I say, she missed a trick this year with Taylor Swift when Taylor Swift got married or announced her engagement, rather, in that glorious garden. She should have said that's where she got the flower sprinkles from.
I know, a missed opportunity. Now let's talk about Princess Catherine. She's hosted her annual Christmas Carol concert at Westminster Abbey. The theme of the service, held in the candlelit Abbey, was kindness and showing love to others. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, it's glorious, isn't it? We go from the absurdity of the Montecito madness to the glorious Princess Catherine. And this is what she did. It was a glow-up, wasn't it? Pure class, while the Sussexes were crafting glue gun wreaths, wasn't it? And it was the Westminster Abbey. They had William, George, Charlotte, Louis. They're all there. They had A-listers turning out as well. I see you've got a picture of Paddington Bear. Kate Winslet, Eugene Levy, who did that wonderful interview with William, as you know. Dame Mary Berry from our famous baker over here. And they had real heroes as well, Holocaust survivors, D-Day veterans and young carers. And there was all sorts of things like sea shanties were sung. You had Bible readings. And the theme, as you say, was all about kindness. If you can be anything in this world, be kind. And this is what it was. It was great to see her again after her own cancer diagnosis. People love Princess Catherine over here. They had 1,600 guests, and they heard a mix of traditional carols, music, and poems. As I say, Kate Winslet was there. It was lovely to see her there. And there was a Bible reading from Prince William himself from the pulpit. And it was all held in the candlelit Abbey. And it was absolutely glorious to see that sort of stuff. She was also wearing this long green Christmassy coat. And what she did, she's a princess for the people, because she met members of the congregation inside the Abbey and she spoke to Holocaust survivors and so on and so forth, as well as, I say, Eugene Levy, who lifted the lid, peeked beneath the kimono of what Prince William's really like. It was a beautiful message, and I say the message this year was, in a fragmented and disconnected world, small acts of generosity and love can bring people and communities together. There you go.
There you go. All class, Princess Catherine. Now, Prince William is going to make a major change to royal family Christmas traditions. Now, we've been speaking about the Christmas traditions, but talk to us about this major change. What's Prince William going to do?
Well, his manner, one of the things he said with this great interview, as I say, with Eugene Levy, is to sort of turn around and say, we're going to modernise the royal family. We're going to get rid of a lot of the pomp. A bit of a pity, really, because I think the people like the pomp. But he's ready. He thinks some of the Sandringham rules are really, really weird. So some of the things they have, for example, you have dinner at Sandringham on Christmas Eve, and that's a black tie event. It's a precise schedule. There's seating plans which are dictated by rank. And as I said last time, the last person to come in to the reception is the most senior one, the king. Christmas lunch itself has no formal seating plan. can, but the royals come to a table from their rooms, and the rooms themselves are arranged by their status. So lower tier members of the family are basically housed in what are servants' quarters, as far away from the dining room as possible. Now, Zara Tindall, who's the daughter of Princess Anne. She was not assigned an HRH title at birth. She would be the last person to come in as a result of her being quite lowly on the pecking order. And William, I can tell you, absolutely adores Zara. So he would hate the practice of leaving her to the back of the queue. But William also wants to get rid of these wonderful little traditions, which I quite liked last time. I was telling you about these, the naff gifts that they give to each other, which are basically these are £5 gags, which you have, and you had all sorts of tchotchke things which are given. I remember there was a loo seat, a leather loo seat given as one present. You had a picture of the Queen's face on all sorts of things like slippers and so on and so forth. But that's what he wants to do. He wants to have a more relaxed, basically a Middleton family type vibe is what I'd call it.
Okay, Andrew Eborn, UK barrister and broadcaster, president of Octopus TV. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a joy, Gabriella. See you next week.